So guys get Tinder openers completely wrong. And the reason is because they're always trying to be witty or funny. They're trying to impress them. And when you're doing that, you're literally chasing from the very first message. And it doesn't make sense. And at the same time, she can tell if you're pasting that same line on everybody. Like, the only thing you actually need is a bit of good conversation, and then you ask her out. And to do that with your opener, you should just scan her profile for something, anything specific. And being specific is just so important because it leads to so much more opportunity for where to take a conversation, for you to add your own experience with whatever they're talking about, to add a story, to actually build connection. Like it doesn't happen when you're just saying a one-off funny line or you're just kind of scratching the surface, asking interview-like questions. It just doesn't make sense. You actually have to dig deep, and it's just a million times better. So I'll give you examples of different things I can say. She ended up saying that she likes Formula One in her profile. I have no experience with that. I know that it's getting popular. I asked what she likes about it. And sure enough, she gives me this huge response. And you can just tell immediately we're starting things off on the right foot. She put a lot of effort into that response. It was kind of long. And it just, if I said something funny, it's there's no connection. It's okay, that's funny. Now what? Now we just have to try to continue off on this foot instead of just, you can't just keep being funny or whatever. Anyways, actually, I'll give you a few more examples of this. I had 3 matches from Ukraine. I didn't know they're from Ukraine. I just saw it after. I'm like, what city is that? And I Googled it and it was from Ukraine. And then I just kind of asked about it. Okay, I know there's a lot of women, guys, and everybody here in Canada from Ukraine because of the war. I asked about that. Each one I've had a fantastic conversation. I mean, they kind of just really opened up. I've learned some things about how hard it was. Some of them had left family. The war was really hard. All these different things. And it's okay, we're actually having some sort of connection here. That, again, wouldn't happen if I just pasted some dumb opener. So when their profile is empty, even saying, what did you get up to today, is much more specific and will give you much better answers to work off of than just asking, how's it going? Because they're just going to say good and they're going to respond back to you. How's it going for you? And it's okay. That's so draining too, because when you're actually getting specific, they'll give you answers that are very easy to respond to, typically, or at least much easier than just generic questions. But let's get actually into this. So starting with Maddie, I'm not going to share their photos on YouTube, but that is also something very good that you can ask them about. If there's something, unique that they're doing or whatever. Now, I think the Spotify integration, that's a pretty good thing to look into. When you're scrolling your profile, you see, they're into this band or this artist or whatever. And I know Bumble does it too, but we'll just do Tinder right now. And yeah, I don't know any Bad Bunny songs, but that's a decent option if you do. If you look down, she's into Bad Bunny like her. Maybe ask if she's ever seen him live. Again, you can do this on any fucking artist, but you can check interest too. Foodie is a bit generic, but she's into EDM, which I like a bit. So I'd probably ask if she's been to any festivals. That'd be a pretty good conversation. An important thing here is not to go crazy with it. Just spend 20 seconds, scan her profile. If anything triggers a memory, an idea, an experience that you had relating to what she's into, then say it, bring it up. Otherwise, just ask her how her weekend or what she got up to this weekend, or today or whatever. Next is Michelle. She loves Harry Potter. And something else I like to do, and this is kind of I guess some would call this kind of extreme, or high level. But when something like Harry Potter is mentioned, I'll take just a fraction of a second and be do I have any experiences or stories or moments related to Harry Potter in my memory? And I'll just take a second on it. But I did that in this case. And I remember I got the first book at one of those book fairs in school, if you remember them. They were I was not into books, but I was into the posters and stuff. But anyway, that's a great thing to talk about because I know pretty much every kid loved those school fairs. And we could just kind of start a conversation, having something in common that we like to talk about. And if I didn't think of that book fair angle, maybe ask what her favorite movie is of them, or what she thought of the latest ones, the Fantastic Beasts or whatever. I haven't seen them, but I don't think they did as well. Could also ask what future is. euchre and what she likes about it. Again, when they have something of interest in their profile, asking what they like about it, that's a pretty easy way to do it. Matsia is next. Hot Cheetos dipped in yogurt. I'd probably comment on that, calling her unhinged or something, and then like ask how she discovered it. Like, humor is definitely good. Like, it's a great tool when it's not just a pasted message, when it's actually specific, like we're talking about. She also has a cat. Pets are a good fallback. Jenny is next. I don't even know what that is. This is common, unfortunately. Either a single line about something or nothing at all in their profile. Hinge is usually a bit better than Tinder profiles, I find, because it's like you actually have to put stuff there. So I just use a fallback opener, like we talked about what they got up to, or I'd see if her pictures have anything worthwhile to talk about. And I also don't know what it is, but there's so many nurses on Tinder. I don't if you've noticed this as well, which is funny because there is like that reputation about them. Next is Rizel, I don't know. This is pretty standard too. I'm sure this is what you guys are used to for the most part. Some information, but not a lot. No, she dislikes dogs, so we wouldn't click, but she doesn't like horror movies. I don't either. I think it's like, I don't like the jump scares. I don't want to feel the feelings of like suspense or whatever. I don't like it. So we can like talk about that. And it's probably the same reasons for her. So that's something in common. Maybe I'd ask her to recommend me some 90s music or what she does as an artist. Again, the point is just to get the ball rolling, to start off on the right foot. Sometimes you'll ask a great specific question and there's just nothing there. So then you go back to their profile or you just try something else. But other times, like, I could just have a single question and then we could dig deep into it for like a day or two and then like ask her out. Like it can be it really can be that simple. And at the same time, once they're a match and have responded, then you can also put a little bit more time into it, at least like thinking about the different directions. Again, it shouldn't take that much time. All like focusing too much leads to burnout on dating apps. Like I know probably 99% of the guys spend 5 to 10 minutes on a single message, or at least have in the past. And that's like the worst thing you could do because so many matches won't lead anywhere. Now, if you're curious about the rest of the conversation, like what else you should do, I mean, you really just need to talk for a couple days, 2 to 3 days, and that's it. Then you ask him out. I'm going to have a video on this pretty soon that like digs a little bit deeper into it, but I'm curious, like, what do you guys use as an opener? I could use something different in terms of a fallback, like asking what they're up to. That has worked pretty well for me. But there could be some other angles, so let me know what you're using, what you've had success with. But anyways, hopefully that's helpful to you, and I'll talk to you again soon.